All right, folks, welcome to this next video on painting and UV mapping of our Lego man. For this video, to get started, let's go ahead and do File, Open Scene, pull up Lego Man 9, do File, Set Project, choose your Lego Man folder, hit Set, then do File, Save Scene As. Let's go ahead and call this Lego Man 10. And then we are going to go up to the top right, make sure it's on General, tell it Reset. And now we're good to go with creating our character. So the first thing we'll do is we'll look at basic ways you can add color in Maya. So if I select his head and I right click on it and I go down to Assign New Material, then New Material gives me a list of options. Lambert's kind of a matte finish. Blinn is a shinier finish. I'm just going to go with Lambert for right now. You'll see it creates a new Lambert. And what I'm going to do is call this Lambert 2, call it head. Then on this color option, if I click on that gray box, I can then pick a color. So if I wanted, I could literally take every one of his body parts, like these right here, his hands. Since we know minifigs usually match the color of their hands, I could take these, right click them, assign existing material, choose head, because we know it's the same color. I could take his arms, tell it assign, and actually let's make his arms and his torso the same color. Um, we could do assign new material, choose a Lambert again, call it shirt, and we could do like a red. Finally, we could go in and choose all these other parts, right click, do assign new material, Lambert, we call it pants, change it to blue. Now all of a sudden in a few moments we colored our little guy. Um, and he's technically good to go. Now he doesn't have a face. That's where the UV map would come in handy. Um, and there's a couple ways we could do that if we wanted to keep it simple in here. But if you wanted to do like a lot of your fancier minifigs these days and give them clothes, like make it look like they have pockets or buttons and stuff, you would need to create a UV map for the character. So what I think we'll do is we will UV map the head, and maybe let's try doing, we'll play around with the head, and we'll just show you how to UV map the head. And then if you choose to, you can follow the same steps to try to UV map a the rest of the body. So with the head selected, I will go to my drop down here, go to modeling, go to UV editor. Now this is what it does for the UV map of the cylinder. So these are right here. So if I hover over, if I go to face mode and I hover over, we can kind of see where the different parts are. So if I want the center of his face, it's over here. And normally when you try to do a UV map, you want to do your best to have where it gets cut. So if I go to edge mode, this edge is technically on the side of his head most of the time, and we can see it. It's hard to see right now. Let me see if I can click away real quick. Or let me go to object mode. This white edge, that is where it's cutting the UV map. So what we may want to do to make it a little smoother is I'm actually going to go ahead and do edge, select these edges that are cut right here. And I'm going to go over here in my UV editor and hit sew. Then I'm going to go back here on the back of his head, try to select right down the middle of the back of his head. Between those two white lines, and I'm going to tell it to cut. And I'm going to go to face mode, and we're going to hope this does it nicely. I'm going to drag a box over all of them. Click this unfold button, tell it to unfold. There we go. So now, if I rotate back around, these faces should be right in the middle, so I know where his smile should be. All right. And so what I'll do is go to face mode. I'm going to scale these down just a hair. And I think, especially since I want to be able to draw my face nicely on here, I'm going to straighten that out a little bit. And I'm going to do straighten UVs. And there we go. So now, because I'm not going to mess with these other ones, I'm literally for this activity just putting a face on him. So what I want to do is know where his middle of his face is, which these two right here, probably these three are going to be the ones I want. So I'm going to drag a box over all of them to select them. Go to Image, UV Snapshot. It's going to tell me where it's going to try to save it. My Lego Man Images folder. I'm going to call it Face Map. Hit Save. And I'm going to change this to a PNG and up it to 8K so I get the highest res possible. Hit Apply and Close. Now I'm going to go to, you can use whatever graphic software you have for this. I'm going to go, not that one, my downloads, look for my Lego Man folder, images, and I'm going to right click on this face map, and I'm going to go open with Photoshop. Once it loads up, can't see much because there's basically really thin lines. But if I create a new layer, and in this case, on this new layer, I'll call it background because it's the backing. And I'll just choose a yellow to work with. And I will go over here, grab my paint bucket, and I'll paint that yellow. Now you can start to see my map, which is this one. We don't want to accidentally paint on the map layer because then you wind up with all these lines on your artwork. So I'm going to name it map and lock it. I'm going to create another layer that I'll put behind the map for now. Grab my magnifying glass. Whoops. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to jump back over to Maya real quick. Make sure I know exactly which faces they are. So it is, so the 10th one from the left through the 12th one. So basically from right here should be my face. So for this, I'm just going to throw together a real quick happy face. So 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10. So starts here. Oops, and my opacity is down really low. Let's up that some. From right, oops. Trying to draw with the mouse real quick. So I'll do that just so we have a face. Then I'm going to turn off this map layer, do a file save as, call it facemap.psd. It'll save it in my images. Then I'm going to go back to Maya. And now with it, I'm going to go to object mode. right click, go to assign new material, Lambert. I'm gonna call this one face, just so it doesn't override the hands color. And under color here, I'm gonna click this checker box. When I do, it gives me the option to choose a file. I'll pick the file. It gives me this folder. I'm going to go look in my images folder for my face map. Now, I don't think that one actually attached correctly. Let's see. Well, I don't know why it didn't link it to there, but let's try again. Let's go to color, file, folder, images, face map. And then it says that it's linked. It's just so the thing we're not doing yet is we need to go up here and up on each of your panels. So if I go to a quad view, any one of these panels, if I want to see the textured version, I have to go into that specific panel, turn on textured. Oops, somehow a transparency got applied to my characters. So let's take a look. Let me grab this. Well, no, that one's fine. Wonder why he disappeared all of a sudden. Oh well, seems to be okay now. Now you will notice the yellows don't quite match, so I got to play around with that. Um, but any of them where I want to see the texture, uh, any textures that I bring in, I got to go in and turn this on. But now I have his face. Now, obviously, I'd want to paint it a lot cleaner, but any one of the body parts that I want to make a map for, I would simply select that object, go to the UV editor, see how it's laid out, and see if I need to modify the UV map. I like to usually go in and just do the unfold button, see what it does, maybe straighten the UVs so it cleans it up a little bit for me. And then if I need to move any of the cuts or anything where it cuts it, I just select those edges. All right, let me get rid of just the selection tool. I just select those and I could hit so if I need to, and then go select the new ones where I want to cut. Once I'm done and I lay out my map, go to face mode, select them. You need to make sure your entire map for that object is in this first, the top right square where these blue lines intersect. And you want to make sure it fits perfectly into there. Then you go to image UV snapshot. I usually use PNG, give it a name, set it to whatever resolution you want, and then export it. Then you go open it and paint it. Again, that is going to be if you want to do much more decorative. I'm going to turn off this shading X-ray. Same thing here. Oh, that one's not. Turn off this one and this one, and this one, so I don't keep seeing through my little character. But you would do that for each body part that you want to custom design. If you just want to add color like this, you can do it straight out of Maya. But if you want to do a custom map and then paint it, you would take that UV map and then go paint it. All right, so now you should be set to be able to texture your character. You can use the same character over and over again with minifigs and just change the texture. That's the nice part about them. And now you also have your character rigged up, ready to animate. So you should be good to go. When you do animate, once you're all set, you can then set up lighting, scenes, render. If you need videos for that, go to my blocky character series. And I've got some videos in there that show you how to set up lighting and render, and then take your renders into Premiere to composite them. All right, good luck. Oh yeah, don't forget to do a file save scene. All right, we'll see you in the next videos.